Test 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. No, not getting me. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Run for the bottom. Hopefully. There you go.
Good evening. Before I call the meeting to order, I want to announce that some commissioners, staff, and public are attending remotely via Zoom, by phone, or on site. All participants joining by phone should mute their phones when not speaking to avoid background noise. Thank you so much for doing that. During the meeting, please make sure that you announce yourself by name and title every time you speak, so the public that is observing knows who is speaking. Please be sure you speak directly into the microphone so that the public can hear your comments. An accurate record of the meeting is made. Now, this is critical given the number of remote participants and is current guidance from the Kansas Attorney General. If public comments are allowed on an agenda item, comments should be limited to the topic of that item. Per the Commission Rules of Procedure, comments should not include any rude or derogatory remarks, reflections as to integrity, abusive comments, and statements as to motives and personalities. I will now call this meeting to order. Board of Commissioners for Thursday, February 19, 2026. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Roll call. Lopez,
Here.
Stites, Davis,
Here.
Bynum. Here. Kump, we have an absence memo. Howard,
Here.
Burns. Here. Ramirez, we have an absence memo. Hill.
Here.
Pacheco,
Here.
Watson.
Here. Thank you, clerk. The invocation and Pledge of Allegiance will come next. Our invocation is being given by Chaplain Annie Erickson, Novo Mission. Thank you for being here tonight. I would ask everyone to stand and remain standing after the invocation for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Would you bow your heads with me? Almighty God, in a nation that is permeated with division, polarization, and vitriol, may we have the courage to be countercultural. Give us the grace to come together and stand shoulder to shoulder as we seek the good of Kansas City, Kansas, and Wyandotte County. Grant us wisdom and maturity to be respectful, to give one another the benefit of the doubt, and to collaborate in productive ways this evening, whether we are elected officials or citizens in these chambers. Bless the dialogue to be fruitful, the insights to be meaningful, and the relationships to be stronger. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Beautiful prayer, Chaplain Annie. Thank you again. I'll ask the clerk if there are any revisions to tonight's agenda.
Mayor, there are no revisions.
Oh, wonderful. We have one item scheduled under the mayor's agenda this evening. Tonight, we are recognizing our Parks and Recreational Department. Woo! And the awards the department recently received at the Kansas Recreation and Parks Association Conference held in Topeka in January. I'll ask David Johnson, our county administrator, to introduce the staff.
Well, I'm pleased to present Angel Ferrara, our Parks Director, to talk about what happened there and the nice awards that we received, all because of the great work that our staff provides. Angel?
Yes, thank you, Administrator. Let's see. And I would like to recognize, we do have some members from the Parks and Recreation team here with us tonight. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm grateful to be here to share and celebrate the incredible work of our Parks and Recreation team. And I promise to keep this brief, but I am incredibly proud of what we've accomplished together. At the recent Kansas Recreation and Park Association Annual Conference in Topeka, our department and agencies from across Kansas gathered to recognize excellence in our profession. Out of roughly 140 agencies statewide and among 1,500 professionals represented in this conference, Unified Government of Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas brought home 6 awards, 1 distinguished and 5 branch honors. Not bad for Wyandotte County, Kansas City,
Ooh,
Kansas.
not bad, not bad.
But that's not luck, it's leadership and it's teamwork, and that's commitment to this community. And let me be clear, these are more than just awards. In a county that consistently ranks as the unhealthiest in the state, our work is not optional, it's essential. These are not just plaques, they are proof of impact. The Korean-Vietnam War Memorial Project that you see up on the screen stands as a promise that service will be honored, sacrifice will be remembered, and history will always have a home here in Wyandotte County. Special thanks to our marketing coordinator, Ethan Haynes, he's in the audience, whose efforts brought this project story to life and helped connect our community with the memorial. The second award you see up here is the Outstanding New or Innovative Sports Program, which is a court for the community. And this is not simply a renovated surface. It's the sound of a basketball after school instead of silence. It's teenagers choosing a safe place to gather. It's confidence built one shot at a time. It's belonging. Also up on the list, you see the Outstanding New or Innovative Wellness Program. This is more than just pavement through a park. It's a mother pushing a stroller at sunrise. It's a senior walking one more lap than yesterday. And it's neighbors connecting. It's stress releasing with every step. And if you notice, we were recognized for 6 new trails. You can see them listed up there. And then also the recognition of Shea Lockett and Justin Ukina, if they want to stand. This reminds
Please
us,
stand.
this reminds us,
Woo!
and so they were recognized for outstanding recreation branch professional and also natural resource professional for parks. So this reminds us that transformational work requires transformational people. Professionals who care deeply, think creatively, and serve relentlessly. And mind you, this is in the state of Kansas, Professionals of the Year. And then also we celebrate Dr. Jane Winkler-Philbrook, who is with us tonight as well.
Please stand. Dr. Philbrook.
Her leadership on both the Parks Board and Parks Foundation help guide our vision and raise critical resources that make these projects possible. These awards represent the work that you don't always see. That's planning, meetings, grant writing, weekend events, maintenance crews in every season, and staff who show up again and again because they believe that this work matters, and it does.
Can I say something real quick? Thank you to all of you up on the dais. If it weren't for you supporting Parks and Rec.
Ms. Philbrook, we need you in a microphone to hear you.
Maybe she can come up when I finish. Parks and Recreation is often where a child first discovers a talent. It's where families reconnect after long days, and it's where seniors find movement and friendship. It's where neighborhoods regain pride. So I also want to thank our park board, past and present. We do have a park board member here tonight, Miss Karen Daniels.
Please stand.
I want to thank them for their steady leadership and vision. Strong boards really do build strong departments. I also want to thank our county administration team, particularly Alan Howes. While our team executes these projects on the ground, Alan is the one who connects the dots across departments, encourages collaboration, and understands that parks are not just recreation. They are economic drivers and solutions to some of our community's biggest challenges. Mayor Watson and commissioners, thank you for your continued investment. Every dollar committed to Parks and Recreation multiplies in health outcomes, youth development, and neighborhood stability. And I also want to thank our residents. Thank you for showing up, participating, and most importantly, trusting us with your families. Yes, we received awards, but what we are truly building is a healthier, stronger Wyandotte County. And that is far more important than any plaque. And finally, a huge shout out to our amazing Parks and Recreation team, some who are here tonight, because without them, none of this is possible. This takes every single one of our employees working hard day in and day out to do the real work. And then lastly, I'll say that these awards are recognition from our peers, but the real award is seeing our parks full, our trails active, and our community better than it was yesterday. So thank you for this time. Really proud of our department. Thank you for the support.
Thank you. So, are there any comments from the commission board? Commissioner Bynum.
Thank you, Mayor, Angel and team. You are incredible, and you do show that day in and day out, and it's so appreciated. And Dr. Jane, thank you. You found a way to continue to provide service to the community, and I am deeply appreciative of that. So, yep, thank you all very, very much. It's so exciting. I shouldn't have a favorite, but I do love the trails. Well, I love it all. So, thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Bynum. Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to say thank you, a big shout out to you for the great work that you've done. Thank you for really concentrate a lot of your efforts. East of 635, the parks are absolutely amazing. And I would like to know more about the outstanding new or innovative sports program, A Court for the Community, Broderick Crawford Court Project. I belong to that church and I'd love to share more of that information with the church. Thank you. Great job.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Howard.
Howard, District 1. Hey, I tend to be long-winded just by nature.
You
but
have
I
5
am-
minutes. No. I love you.
I appreciate your support, Madam Mayor. I just want to say that I'm proud of y'all. Shayla, Miss Shayla, Miss Angel, the whole team. I've worked with you, each individual, some new faces, but I met each and every one of you. I've had organizations in the community that we worked with you, and the first thing that you all did, Miss Shayla, Miss Angel, is you welcomed us in and you said, hey, what are some ideas that you have? What do you want to see happen in the community? And that's what you all do. You all focus on the community, you listen to the community, and I hear it in the community. So thank you, thank you, thank you, each and every one of you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, because I love the parks too, right? And so I live in those parks too. Some days I like to get away and go to the parks and just enjoy myself. And you all know how important it is just to get away and enjoy safe spaces and for our community to have safe spaces. So it really means a lot that you all think enough of the community to go out there and work hard for us every day. So thank you.
Awesome. Commissioner Lopez.
Yeah, I just wanted to, you guys are phenomenal. I'm so glad that you guys won this. You guys deserve it. You guys make our parks look great, even all the way down to the workers that mow, all that. You guys are awesome. Thank you. This is so cool.
Thank you, Commissioner Lopez. Commissioner Davis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I echo all of the comments of my colleagues and to my predecessor, Dr. Philbrook. Thank you for your continued involvement and for your continued advocacy. It has been truly, truly a big help to us in our community. I understand that our Parks and Rec department has a lot of positions that they are hiring for. And so just wanted to kind of do the PSA. I feel like Angel may have missed her moment to say, if you want to work for now a very high performing, award winning department, we have one right here in Wyandotte
That's
County that is doing amazing work. And it's not just us that recognize it, it's the entire state of Kansas that recognizes it, which is really, really important. We were on a economic development tour, and the mayor and I were sitting next to each other, and I was kind of telling her about some of the changes that have happened just recently as far as how our commission has seen parks, and how post the Great Recession, we, the unified government, had cut funding to parks and never restored it. And at that time, it amounted to over $60 million of underinvestment for over a decade. And so we haven't made up, right, that lack of investment, but we have made significant strides. I just wanted to tell all of you all, continue to push us to make sure that you all are at the table. When a lot of folks complain about quality of life issues in Wyandotte County and they compare us to other communities, they bring up parks, they bring up trails, they bring up basketball courts, pickleball courts, and the things that we may not think of or may not be top of mind. And so please, now you can say you all have the hardware to back it up, right? That come budget time, we keep you all in mind and make sure that your department is prioritized as we balance all of the needs of our community. Thank you and congratulations.
Well said, Commissioner Davis. County Administrator.
I just want to add my congratulations. Just in the last year, we opened 3 dog parks, and I've taken my Petey to 2 of them, and he enjoys the open air and meeting new friends and all that. But we should have had an award of the best mascot, and you should have had a picture of Andretti. He's the epitome of energy and livelihood. Actually, you look at him and you just go, I feel relaxed already, because he's a nice basset hound. But we needed that picture of Andretti up there. You should have brought him physical.
Should have brought him, yeah.
But congratulations, everybody. Whenever I've been with the park staff, they love what they do. They love serving their citizens to provide that recreation space for all to use. And yes, unfortunately, many times it's overlooked, but they don't make it overlooked. It's their mission to keep it up and running and operable. And they do a fantastic job. I'm proud of all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Pacheco.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, not to belabor the point, congratulations. We're incredibly proud of you. You represent our county so well, and I think that our park system, the recreation that we provide for people is really, it's one of those central things that any good thriving community does a really good job at. And so that's obviously seen in the awards that you all have gotten. I do have a favorite. Wyandotte County Lake is my favorite, and I grew up around it. I grew up driving around it. This the way I like to wind down, you know, it's the way I like to relax. And my wife's the same way. We take our little girls to the park there. And so, and we're doing great work to restore that wall. And so I know that every day you guys are putting your best foot forward for this community and making it the best it can be within your scope. And so I congratulate you and I thank you for your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, I would like all of the commissioners to stand with me as we applaud Parks and Recreation Department. Fabulous work. Do you have the award here? Do we need to take a picture?
We have a really nice picture of all the awards. I didn't point that out. We were afraid that we would accidentally drop them and shatter them. It happened.
What?
It happened one time I saw last year and I was scared to bring them, but You can come to 50th and stay, and we'd love to show you our.
Okay, well, that's what we'll
Yeah,
do. I'll
yeah.
come and see the awards and we'll take pics with
We could still.
all of you.
get a
Can we
picture.
still take a pic tonight? No?
Yeah.
Y'all want
I mean,
to? Come
that's
on,
up
let's
to
do
you,
it.
that's up to you,
Let's do
that's
it
up to
real
you.
fast.
I'm sure staff would love it.
Yes.
Alan, are you gonna take it? Are you gonna take the picture? There you go. Come over.
Dean.
Roll it. Now it's got to sit up. Here. Everybody in? Hold on, one more. Yeah, where's Crystal when you need her? Awesome. Rock star. Okay.
Call someone back.
Who? Oh, Commissioner Barnes? Oh. Come on, Commissioner Barnes. He need a minute. All right, this now takes us to the congratulations again. We love Parks and Rec. Great job. Keep it up, y'all. All right, this takes us to the regular consent agenda. Does any member of the commission or county administrator wish to set aside any item on the regular consent agenda? If an item is not set aside, all items on the regular consent agenda will be voted on by one vote. Commissioner Bynum.
Mayor, thank you. Bynum at large one, move to approve our consent agenda.
Dave, second.
Thank you. It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Roll call Lopez,
Aye.
Stites, Davis,
Aye.
Bynum,
Aye.
Howard,
Aye.
Burns,
Aye.
Hill,
Aye.
Pacheco.
Aye.
The vote is 8-0. The motion carries.
Thank you, Monica. We have one item under our public hearing section this evening related to the Neighborhood Revitalization Act Plan Renewal. This item has two elements. The first element is conducting a public hearing to receive comments regarding the renewal of the plan. The second element, which will require a vote, is adoption of a resolution and approval of an ordinance approving the plan. I'll turn the matter over to our county administrator, Mr. David Johnston, for opening remarks and introduction of staff.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The NRA program, as it's affectionately called, has a stipulated lifetime. And that expiration of this program was December 31st, 2025, and must be renewed. There's been a significant public process involving many stakeholders. And to give you an overview of that process and what's in the act is Judd.
Hello, Mr. Knapp.
Hello.
Good evening to you, sir.
Can I get my presentation up there? Thank you. All right, so I'm Judd Knapp. I work for Economic Development. I'm here to talk about the NRA program renewal. We have to renew this every 5 years, so that's why I'm here tonight. So we're going to start out with a brief overview of it. This is a property tax rebate. It encourages property owners to invest in their property and by refunding the increase in property taxes back to the property owner. Some benefits of the program, we got long-term growth. I direct you to the photo there. That was a vacant lot, and now it has a house on it because of the NRA program. Thank you, sir. Then we have stability for the tax base. It encourages investment in our neighborhoods, reduces blight, and no loss of existing revenue. This is kind of how the program works. So the base value is the value of the property before your improvements. This is what you already pay taxes on. So the appraiser will come out and set the base rate for your project before you start your project. The increment part is the increase in value due to the improvements that you made to your property. This is the only portion that is eligible for this rebate. And then we have future appreciation. So in future years, if your home increases in value, that is not part of this rebate. I have a real world example of this. This was a rehab that was on the NRA program. Before rehab, it was worth $89,000. That was the base value. After rehab, it was worth $169,000. The increment is the difference between those two numbers of $80,000. That $80,000 is what the rebate is for. So this property owner paid taxes of $1,500 and they got a rebate of $1,600 back. All right, so now I'm going to go into the changes to the program. The boundaries changed up just slightly. Area 1 boundaries used to go right down 635 to county line, but then we made that area smaller. Now it goes from the Kansas River north. Area 2 got the part of Area 1, and it also, we removed the Turner School District because Turner did not approve the NRA program in their district, so that means they're excluded from this program. And we also removed State Avenue at 94th Street. So the differences in the area is just the year, the length of time. Area 1 is 10 years, Area 2 is 5 years. So that's the term of the rebate. So for rehab, it's still 95% rebate. The change that we did make was new construction was at 95%, but we were going to reduce that to 50%. So we were reducing this incentive. The other changes that we made to the program was historic structures used to have like 5% increase. No, a 5% increase would be eligible. Now it's 15%. On the commercial side, we increased the cap from 3 million to 10 million because of the cost of building. And then special projects cap also went from 3 million to 10 million. That concludes my presentation.
Are there any questions from the commission? Lopez.
Lopez District 6. If you was to bring it back to this Turner School to talk about it some more, would you be able to do that, or we have to wait a year or longer?
You laughing?
No, I was looking at Wendy.
Oh,
Sorry, I was like, oh.
attorney, go ahead.
Wendy Green, Deputy Chief Counsel. If they requested that it be brought back to their school board to do a new vote, we could amend the plan at that time to include them.
Okay, yeah, I've been talking to some school board members on this, and so I'll circle back with you on that.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. Can we put the presentation back up? I just want to make sure I'm tracking the changes. Like that second to last slide. Yeah, right here. Okay, for the special projects, what would be an example? Maybe
We haven't had many of these. Sour Castle was,
Okay, I was thinking-
was one.
Okay, Sour Castle would be the prime example. Okay. And then, so special person. Who's administering this? Is this economic development or appraiser's office?
The appraiser's office.
Okay, gotcha. So if someone is interested in wanting, right now the program's not active, this is for information only. But if we vote this through, all that good stuff, they would contact the appraiser's office if they wanted to get started on this process?
Yes, Commissioner, and there's online forms that they can fill out.
Okay, so they would just go online. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that's on record, that in case people watching are interested. Thank you.
Sorry, Attorney?
Oh, sorry, Wendy Green, Deputy Chief Counsel. I just wanted to let everyone know that the appraiser's office has been taking applications this year.
Mhm.
So in anticipation of this plan getting passed, so anyone that had applied in 2026 would be under the provisions of this plan. So because the object, or the requirement of the plan is that they apply prior to them beginning the rehabilitation or construction, because they have to establish that base value before they begin making the improvements. So they have been taking applications. So once this plan goes into effect, all those applications would then be under the provisions of this plan.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Judd. Appreciate you. At this time, I will open the meeting for public comments. You will be given up to 3 minutes to state your comments. Before speaking, please be sure to announce your name and residence for the record. Comments should be limited to the topic at hand. Clerk, do we have anyone who has submitted written comments?
No written comments received.
Clerk, do we have anyone in chambers who has signed up to speak?
We do. We have one individual, Blair Whaley.
Okay.
If you'll approach, state your name and residence, you'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, my name is Blair Whaley, Shawnee, Kansas. I'm the owner of Keylink Properties LLC. It is my understanding, obviously with the program being changed to 50% instead of 95% for the new builds, that this has been going on for 26 years roughly at the 95%. My biggest fear for that is with changing it to 50% is that we're going to decrease the amount of new builds that are going on the land bank lots, because ultimately there's been 150 in the last 5 years. We're trying to get people to build on these lots, and like he said, there's no cost to the taxpayers because there's nothing on the lots now, and they're dumping grounds ultimately. And I have actually applied to build on one of the land bank lots, and I was talking to one of the neighbors, and they said they've put numerous complaints in because the whole street is land bank, and there's trash, tires, a foosball table. Like nobody's building on these lots. And so I think by decreasing it to the 50%, it's just going to make it even worse, and nobody's going to want to build. My other sorry, give me just 1 second. So even though it may not seem like a big decrease for you guys, if we're building like a $300,000 house, which is very common for new construction, that would be probably $3,000 to $5,000 a year that it would be saving us for 5 years. So essentially 15,000. That can make a huge difference for first-time home buyers who are
1 minute
looking to-
remaining.
Huh?
1 minute remaining.
Okay. For first-time home buyers who are looking to build in this community. The other thing is the cost to build homes in this community is the same as it is in Johnson County. And so ultimately, if I can pay $260 for a house here or on Quindaro next to a bunch of houses that have been there for 50 years, or I can pay $260 for a house that's in Johnson County or Leavenworth County, why wouldn't I build it in a new subdivision versus on a land bank lot? Thank you.
Thank you for taking time to give your comments. Are there any others? Clerk, do we have any online with their hands raised?
There are no hands raised at this time.
Okay. Well, thank you all. We'll now close the public hearing. Do any
Mayor-
members of the commission have any comment?
Mayor, if I may, we do have one hand that has been
Oh,
raised.
you do?
Yes.
So we'd love to hear from you.
It's Karen Scheibe. You'll need to unmute, state your name and residence, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Karen Scheibe, Kansas City, Kansas. And I just am trying to understand because I live within the Turner District and I know there are a lot of homes over here that could probably benefit from the program. And I'm just trying to understand how the school district is involved in making the decision around the area that this program can be implemented. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Attorney, can you answer that, please?
Yes, this is Wendy Green, Deputy Chief Counsel. Because the school district is one of the taxing entities that would be involved, they have to consent to the NRA plan being implemented in their area because they would be foregoing a portion of the taxes they would otherwise be receiving. I wasn't at the meeting, the school board meeting, when this was presented to them, so I don't know if they just chose not to participate because they didn't want to forego those taxes, but they do have to consent to that. So if they don't consent to be a part of it, then we cannot have the property within their district be eligible for the plan.
Thank you, Attorney. Did that help answer your question? Karen?
Sorry, I had to unmute again. Sorry.
That's okay.
I do hear that, but I do understand there's a tax situation there with the school, but I just am trying to understand why you wouldn't want the people that live in your area to be able to fix up their homes. But I will take that. I didn't realize there was a link there until I just recently heard about it and was just trying to understand.
Sure. Well, you
So-
can always take it up with your school district.
Sure. Thank you very much. I appreciate the answer.
No, I thank you for raising your hand. Commissioner Bynum.
Thank you, Mayor. Could we put the presentation up one more time? And Judd or Wendy, either one. The slide that I'm looking at is after the one with the picture of the new home. Couple more, keep going. Oh, the one in my packet, Judd, has a NRA proposed changes residential new construction. It's got a column that says current, a column in the middle, there we go. So can you help us understand that particular slide to the gentleman's comments?
Yes, so this is for new construction. The current column, well, first, let's go back one. This exam. Going in it. Sorry. So this example. So this example is like a new residential construction example, just like the rehab one I presented. So like the base value of this lot was 10,000. After construction, it was worth 242. That's an increment of 232. So in 2023, the rebate was $4,200, and they paid property taxes of 290. So then this slide takes those same numbers, but changes that rebate amount, because the current is 95, and then we have 75% rebate, and the rebate amount is 3,200. And then at 50%, the one that we are proposing it's, they would pay 2,100 and 2,300.
So the middle column there is suggested, but we did not choose that column.
That is correct.
We went with the 50%. Okay,
Yes,
I just wanted to clarify since we were showing two examples. Thank you.
Thank you, Judd. Commissioner Davis.
Before I give my comments, are we still doing public comment?
We're in the, I haven't closed the public.
I can wait then, Mayor,
Okay.
just to make sure the public has their
She just,
opportunity.
okay, because she was answering the public comment. Is this not relative, your question?
This is, but I would rather wait for public comment to end. And then
Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna now close the public hearing. There were no other questions or comments. Hearing none further comments, I will entertain a motion for adoption of a resolution. Okay, comments from Commissioners Davis now.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry.
I got ahead of myself.
Formalities. So I think and I don't want to get lost on kind of what I forgot your name, the person that had come and given the comments. I think the question for us to address is whether or not we feel like this program is working, and if now is the time to decrease the rebate amount. This is probably the most accessible economic development incentive but probably one of a few incentives that your small scale local mom and pop developers, business owners can get access to. And so my question for staff is, do we have numbers on the effectiveness of the program at 95%? And what, just walk us through kind of the thinking of going from 95% to 50%.
When we presented it, I presented those numbers, that house that got built only pays $290 in taxes versus they get like almost a $4,000 rebate back. And the consensus was we thought that was too much. So that's why we went down to the 50. That was like an equal split. And yes, the program is definitely working. There are a lot of homes being built. 5 years ago, this was not happening. So we are seeing an increase in building, and that's why we reduced the area and reduced the incentive.
Gotcha. Do we have any numbers or data? Do you have that like in your slides or?
I do.
On you?
There's like, not this again. So here's a map of all the NRA applications from the last 5 years. Area 1 had 69, Area 2 had 67. So that's where they all were. And then this is the number of new NRA applications, active NRA applications, and the rebate amount for each year.
Gotcha. So that amount, let's say for 2024, we rebated back $4.4 million. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, Commissioner.
Gotcha. Yeah. This is, yeah, colleagues, this is hard. Because on one hand, I think and we had meetings about this, right? On one hand, I think that the desire was we can get more property tax revenue, but the property tax revenue doesn't exist if the homes aren't built, right? And so I think I forgot your name, but who had Larry Blair. What Mr. Blair was saying is, hey, if you all cut this, you might get more on the rebate amount, but you may have less homes. The applications may go down because we are less incentivized now to building your community. And we do have still, although there's been a lot of progress, we still have a lot of land bank parcels. So I would be amenable to, at the very least for Area 1, which is where the majority of the land bank parcels are, to leaving that at 95%, and then having everything else be 50%. But that's just an idea. I don't know how other folks feel, but I did want to acknowledge what Mr. Blair was talking about, so that we can hold both of those realities in tension of wanting to develop our community, but also get the property tax revenue. And we also get other benefits, sales tax, BPU pilot, and other things that come from having folks just in our community and populating our neighborhood. So we may lose that 4.4 million here, but it may be made up in other revenue sources. Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes, so I already know the answer to this, but I need to bring this to light and let you answer it. So what I've heard in the Turner area on a negative aspect, and I believe they have the thought wrong here, but how are the flippers and the home builders getting this? And that was a concern. And so my answer to that was, well, they're not. It's whoever buys the house. But also that it's driving the house, the appraisals of other houses way up when a house is flipped or built, and now it's worth 400,000, and the houses around it aren't, their appraisals aren't that, but because that house sold for that, now it drives the neighbor's houses appraisals up. That was what I was heard in the Turner district. So I mean, what's your take on that?
So the appraiser's not here, but if you rehab your house, that is a condition that they use to increase your value of your house. So not necessarily your neighbor's value is not going to go up because of that. And yes, at the Turner School District, they did say that they were worried about their property taxes increasing because of this, and they were worried about the cost of the homes increasing.
Right. Well, like there was a house over here in Turner that it's sat vacant for a long time. It's a brick home. And so a guy came in there and fixed it up, looks immaculate, and sold it for 400,000. And so now I guess the guy across the street, his appraisal jumped because of that. And that's what the whole concern was. But I was like, well, number one, this might be I guess you could say it's a selling tool for a flipper or a builder for one, but that's what I was trying to figure out as well. If the house across the street was worth, I think they bought it for, it was just cheap because it was just ran down to nothing. And it was fixed up pretty much like brand new and sold for 400. Then the house across the street was, their appraisal jumped. So that's, like I said, that was their concern.
Wasn't one of the benefits was that it reduces blight. If the home was run down, is the neighbor happier that he's living across the street from a good-looking house? It's well maintained and taken care of, and it also reduces vacancy. So that house that was empty now has somebody living in it.
Right. Well, I understand that, but at the same time, now his taxes went up because the appraisal jumped. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Well, I mean, there's going to be a market value increase if you're selling your properties, and if whatever the value is and whatever the market is, that's what the value is, right? So I don't know if we can really do a whole lot about that. If the value of homes are going up because the market has increased, then Attorney, what do you have to say?
Thank you. Wendy Green, Deputy Chief Counsel. First, I was going to answer the question about how are the flippers and the builders getting this? They only get it initially until they sell the property, and then that transfers to the owner. So that might be one of the selling points that they're using is if you buy this home, you get a tax rebate for however many years. But secondly, without seeing what comps were used to value that person's house, I wouldn't know if even the house across the street was used to value. It just depends on, and it does depend on what sales are used in that person's area. That house may not have been used because it was a brick house and not the same composition as the person who lives across the street. It just depends. But the way the appraiser's office works is it is based on sales of like properties in the area. And they do make adjustments for if it has a different number of bedrooms, different number of bathrooms, things of that nature. So just because houses are using this tool and making improvements, or because new houses are being built and getting sold, doesn't necessarily mean property values will go up. But yes, they could if the market indicates that the properties in that area have been undervalued.
Okay. So like,
Thank you.
okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lopez. Commissioner Bynum.
Thank you, Mayor. Counselor Green, to Commissioner Davis's suggestion that we do area 1 at 1% and area 2 at another, can we legally do that?
Yes, we can do that. The statutes don't prevent that.
Okay.
The statutes actually are very generous as to what we can and can't do. They just say, hey, do you want to have a plan? Good, go ahead and do it. And anybody that wants to participate has to sign an interlocal agreement. The only thing that we would need to do if we change the plan as it's laid out right now is we would need to go back to the school districts and make sure they are still on board, because what they've approved so far with their interlocal agreements is the plan as it sits right now.
Okay. And my thinking would be 95% or even a lesser amount like 75 or 80 if it's a land bank lot, not necessarily what area it's in. But again, that's for the commission to discuss. But to his point, if we're trying to encourage the building on the land bank lots,
Good idea.
then perhaps the NRA rebate is higher if it's on a land bank lot. Thank you.
Commissioner Stites.
Stites District 7. So, Judd, if you could go back to the slide that showed the 95 and then a 75 proposal and a 50% proposal. I kind of liked the direction that Davis or Commissioner Davis was going with that area, right? And that showed, did we get the slide? Oh,
Not yet.
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. But if I remember right, 67 land bank lots, is that right? Or no, that's how many took advantage of it, right?
Yes, in area 1, yes.
Right there. Oh. So those are just applications though right now, right?
No.
So if you would go back, and my original ask was to go to that 75 and I derailed you and went to another spot, but that where it showed the amount right there. So maybe the jump is too great from 95 to 50, right? Maybe we look at that 75 and then prove that up. I mean, how often does this come about? Do we look at this every year, every 2 years, 3 years, 5? What's our policy on that?
5.
Every 5 years?
Every 5.
Okay. Well, here's what I'll tell you. I believe that the $290 on this example here is too little. And maybe the 50% is too much. I'm saying maybe, but maybe we meet right there at that 75% and see what it does in 5 years. That's just my thought.
I'm going to draw everybody's attention to, if you go to slide 11 on your other slides, not your condensed, if you look at the rates and what other cities are doing in the state of Kansas, Can you tell me just real quick, if they say years 1 to 5, that means once the new construction is done, like for Dodge City and even Coffeyville, it's 100%. Years 1 to 5, they get it at 100%, but then it switches and then it goes down to 50%. Is that what that means?
Yes,
Did we think about that?
we did, but I believe our taxing system won't allow us to do that.
Oh. Why doesn't it allow us? Is it because of a policy or?
No, I think it lacks I was told it lacks the capability of putting in that stepped rate.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Okay. All right. Are there any other comments? Bynum. Oh, wait, Stites.
Yeah, the last thing that I would say, Stites District 7, is, I mean, and I totally am on board with trying to make sure that we get housing available down there. In all of these areas that they can take advantage of this. I'm a little bit disappointed that Turner didn't. I mean, it's not my area, but I mean, hey, I hope they completely understood why
But they were turning.
why
down.
they went
Mhm.
no, right? And so maybe that going back lets them understand how they go back and take advantage of this program. But I mean, I want us to be able to see how we come to common ground here and make this that it's that we all agree on that to get those land bank lots off our table so that we don't have to be responsible for mowing, picking up the trash, and quite frankly, when we don't have staffing and to take care of those things for whatever reason, residency requirement, but that we might that those are ways that we could get some of those lots off of our. So I'm not wanting to be an obstacle here. I just want to find some good common ground so that we can continue to get houses built all across Wyandotte County, especially in the areas that have a high number of the land bank lots. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Pacheco?
Thank you, Mayor Pacheco, District 5. Let me think about this. So first and foremost, for council, whatever we're talking about right here about numbers, is that something that we have to decide tonight?
Whitney Green, Deputy Chief Counsel. No, you could hold this over, or you could by motion change what we've presented and state that you would move to approve it with the understanding that Area 1 will have a 75% abatement or rebate, or it'll have a 95%, or that it'll be 75% across the board instead of the 50%. You can do all of that by motion, just with the understanding that we still have to go back to the school districts, which if we do that, we could always go back to Turner then with the revised plan and see if they want to jump on board this time. Okay. And then we'd come back but we'd also have to have a new public hearing because now it's a new plan.
Okay, question before I go to Commissioner Bynum. You all gave the cost per lot that did you give the dollar value, what it cost us to keep property maintained?
For land bank lots,
Yes.
vacant land bank lots, it's like $300 per year.
$300 per year? That's where you got that 290?
No. No.
I know that's I'm just trying to figure out whatever the cost is annually to keep up the property so that we don't have too bad blighted communities because we have these vacant lots waiting to be constructed on is only costing us $300 per house annually or per parcel annually?
For land bank lots and vacant lots, yes. And
Okay.
that's not.
That's to
counting-
keep up the mowing
That's just mowing.
and labor? But what's the total cost? Is it just mowing and labor for that?
We're gonna mow, my budget this year could be like 1 million to mow all of them.
So if the total cost is $1 million, does the 290 per the vacant lot? I mean, I'm just trying to,
The 290 that you're seeing is the taxes of
I
that
know, if
lot.
if you added all that together, does it equal $1 million?
I don't have that number.
I'm just trying to understand the tax amount versus what we're paying to keep property up. That is an expense to us. So shouldn't it, whatever that amount is it that 95% or is it that 50% tax rate that we're gonna get the tax paid so we can cover that cost? So my thing is right now, Blair, which I appreciate your question, is I understand what you're saying. But I want you to understand where I'm gonna come from here. And that is whatever the cost is that we are pulling out of general fund to keep that property up cost us. So while it is sitting there and there's nothing being done, we're paying an expense while there's still no property value being raised. If $290 is all we're gonna get because of a tax, not, the taxes paid, does that $290 cover the cost that it's costing us right now to keep the property up for all the other? You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? You understand? So I gotta figure, you don't? Okay. So what I'm trying to get to is, I think whatever the amount should be the amount to at least at a minimum, so that we're not coming out of pocket because we don't have anything else pouring back into it to cover the expenses of keeping these properties up that are still vacant.
That $290. Okay, that $290, we don't own that property. That's the amount that the property owner paid taxes.
But you're getting but that tax is coming in though, and it just doesn't cover, it covers other things too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It covers public safety, streets and sidewalks, whatever. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Do y'all understand what I'm saying, y'all?
Yes, Mayor.
We're for good, yeah, so we're foregoing $4 million a year. In 2024, that's how much money we forego. I'm just trying to make y'all think about, we don't have no tax, we gotta have something a little bit more than just zero or $290.
Mayor, may I finish my comment?
Am I making, this sound crazy? Okay, Bynum, you still want to talk? Stites, okay. I didn't see Pacheco's thing.
I wasn't quite done yet,
Oh, go ahead.
but you had very great thoughts. You're a wonderful mayor. You're a wonderful mayor. You actually made several of the points that I'm thinking through here, and really, I think, my colleague Commissioner Davis kind of already alluded to it, so I don't want to berate the point, but really, these are lots that aren't doing anything for us. I almost don't care if we lose a little bit of money on them. We're already losing money on them. The capital investment of people in neighborhoods that are no longer blighted, and this isn't to challenge your thought process, but this is just the way I view these sorts of land bank sort of things is, whatever we can get somebody incentivized to put new homes that beautify a neighborhood, make it a more walkable place, make it a safer place, make it a place where people live. So then we talk about grocery stores and we have enough people in that neighborhood to support a grocery store, like when we were on our economic tour today, Those are the sorts of things that until we get, excuse the term, but like we gotta get butts in the seats, Otherwise, nobody's gonna buy the hot dogs and everything else at the stadium, right? So we gotta get people to the game. And so I would look for something that I agree. I think maybe just finding a little bit better juice for the squeeze for us, but not, maybe it doesn't have to be 50%, where we're disincentivizing people to do these sorts of projects. Because I think, as Judd alluded to earlier, it's working. People are doing it, but I would be a little bit afraid of, we cut it in half, maybe less people are going to do it. And right now the time is hot for people to see that this is really working. So I'm not going to make a motion. I'll let us discuss it a little bit further, but I think I'd like to see us move towards something where I'd keep the highest interest areas, whatever we identify. I'd almost like to keep that at 95%, and then we would try 75% somewhere else before we jump down to 50. I still think we got to really incentivize people as much as we can. And you know, in 5 years we do it again. We say, man, this is really rocking and rolling. Then we have a little bit more proof. But we got to get to the point where we've got almost, you know, full streets and some neighborhoods really seeing the investment that. As we heard from the gentleman, you know, I mean, there are people who want to build, and we just got to be able to incentivize that, especially in places that have been historically disinvested. And we've talked about that so many times. And this is an opportunity for people, sometimes even folks with outside money, not just people within Wyandotte County, to feel like, okay, this is something that I can really take advantage of. So I'm more in agreement than anything with what the mayor is talking about. And I think most of us probably see it that way up here. Is we don't want to take away the incentive for something like this. You're really turning something that's not having a whole lot of action on it, and you're potentially revitalizing neighborhoods. It's part of the overall plan that I think we all have.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciated that feedback. Stites.
Stites District 7, I think that something that's important to, we have about around 400 land bank lots under option right now, right? So, I mean, yeah, do we see it working at 95? Yes, because that's what the number is, right? Would we see it at 75? I don't know. Maybe it would still work at 75. I don't know, because we're not there. So I think I understand where the mayor was going with this, right? Well, let me back up just a hair. So we have we've waived permitting. I don't know what fees. We've waived I don't know all the things that we've waived. I can't name them off. So, what was that? Connection fees. We waived those. We waived multiple things that, and I think I understand where the mayor is saying is people moving in, which is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to make this make sense. But that comes at a cost to the unified government. And what that cost is added calls for service for our police department, calls for service for the fire department, all of the things that come along with a family moving in, which is a great thing. I just think where you were going was that let's just make sure that and maybe that 75% makes sense then, right? I'm still of the opinion that I think that we should just across the board drop it to 75 and reevaluate this again in 5 years. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. We could also, have we considered reducing it from 10 years to 5 years? The rebate.
During our meetings, that did not come up. I mean, we did talk about it, but that was never a suggestion that I heard.
Especially since we can't 1 to 5 years do 95%, but then 5 to 10 or 5 to 7, it goes to 75, you know, since our taxing system can't handle the decrease after X amount of years, can we just reduce it to 5 years rebate instead of 10 years? I just threw that out there. Commissioner Bynum.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple of quick comments. First of all, yes, we probably do know that mowing per lot is around 300, but to the gentleman's point, the other thing happening is the dumping. And we also know that that's extremely expensive, and that is our staff, their time, their labor, and taxpayer money to go clean those up. And I think Mr. Lucas knows how expensive that is, because we've seen in the reports that we get the costs included in those kinds of cleanups. Plus, we should not have to be sending our staff to do that work. But Dr. Knieven, I am thrown off by this notion that must be a software issue, that we do not have the capability of this much for this long, and then after that, this much, because we have many, many economic development projects with an escalating pilot in place. So I need some help understanding how we can do those projects with an escalating payment in lieu of taxes. But we can't do that.
So before you say
I
something,
understand it's a pilot.
clerk, do you need to say something?
I just wanted to address the tax software issue, because that directly impacts our office daily. The tax software system that we have was purchased probably in the 80s. We are still using it. We did ask last year, and it is part of the CIP project, that we look at a different tax software system, one that is compatible with what our appraiser uses, because the appraiser is required by the state to use a specific system. Right now, we have 4 people doing the same job. It is very inefficient. So we do have a process in place, and we are working toward it that would help solve some of these problems.
How long is it gonna take y'all?
So Shelley can even, Chief Financial Officer.
I didn't mean to say it that way either. I just wanted to, I'm just kind of outdone with a software that's, and we using.
Monica had said, it's not a quick solution. So how we do the pilots is manual.
I
And
figured it
so if
probably
you have
was.
thousands of parcels that you're doing a change, you would need to track which parcels need to change in what year to a different percentage.
Okay.
Yes, the system can calculate what the percentage is of the rebate. It can do that. It just can't automatically change that. It'd have to be manually input. It's not to say that we couldn't do it. It's just, as Monica said, it's very inefficient. So we could do it in our system. But to get a new tax system, we're going to go through an RFP process and evaluate what's out there. But even if we had it today, we've picked the project or the software, it's at least a year transition. Because it's our tax system. It's very complex, a lot of data, a lot of history. It's what manages everything in terms of all taxing districts. So it's not a quick process, not a quick fix, but we do have a process underway to fix this because it is a real issue. It is very inefficient, and the way that we are operating it is to have to do a lot of things by manual process. If it was the commission's desire to do something like change it at a certain number of years, we could do that. We just need to track it in a separate spreadsheet, and then we'll have to go in and update that as needed, and that'll take a human being to do that. And so it's not a great process, but I just want you to know that I don't have a quick fix. So if you're wanting to do this from a policy perspective, we can do something in the interim, and then we'll make sure that the new system can accommodate an automatic change year over year.
Thank you. I am sorry about that.
Me too.
Majorly sorry. I also am leaning toward the 75% in the middle ground on the residential new construction. And Judd, I'm sorry to ask you to put that up one more time, because what I'd like to see is there a slide in here that shows us all of it? Residential rehab, residential new construction, commercial rehab, commercial new construction. Is that in one slide? No. Because what I'm supporting is the 75% on the residential new construction and leave the rest of it as presented. That I'm just stating my support for that. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. I just want to make sure that when we do this, we understand the value that we're giving up in terms of expenses and what we need to recoup. Because we have other areas in our budget. We have a software system that needs to be funded. And so when I appreciate what we're doing, and I'm not saying we don't do the rebate because I'm 100% behind it. I would like to know what is it costing us that our proposed changed percentage could really reflect putting that back into the budget. That's all I'm trying to say. Commissioner Hill. Oh, now you want to talk?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just have a question for Dr. Knieven. Again, she mentioned that she's using a system from back in the 80s. Do you anticipate purchasing an updated system soon? And if so, how much?
I love the 80s, don't get me wrong. But the system will be very expensive. It's probably close to $1 million, and it'll be part of our capital financing. So we can purchase even though software is like not a physical thing, it's a capital asset. And so we can purchase it through our capital leasing program like we do fire trucks. And so we'll be bringing forward that piece of it. It's included in the budget. We'll need you guys to act to give us the permission to do the capital leasing like you do every year. But we have to go through this RFP process first and evaluate there's a lot of counties that have very good systems. So there's more than one solution that works with the appraisers because all the appraisers have to use the same system. So there's a couple of different options out there, and we just need to evaluate based on our needs which one's going to be the best. And we'll have IT involved. We've had a couple of discussions already with Treasury, with the clerk's office, with IT. So appraiser's been involved, even though they don't do anything in the tax system. We need their information into the tax system. So
Okay.
anyway, yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Shelley. Commissioner Lopez.
Yeah, I brought this to staff's attention or the administration's attention last year around March, how we're using CIC and it seems to be a debacle. And Orion is what we needed because I believe that's what the appraiser uses. And now we have staff that's entering it twice. And so we need to move forward with this. I know it's going to be, lengthy, but as time goes on, then now we're all on the same page instead of two different books and two different pages.
I
So-
agree completely. When it's a high priority. As I said,
Yeah.
Orion is what the appraiser uses.
Mhm.
There's a couple of tax systems that work with Orion. Orion, the parent company has a product, that's an option, but there are some other options. So we have to go through and do our due diligence and look at, because there's others that are working with Orion as well, other counties. But
Okay.
few counties are using CIC at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Thank
there's
you.
always problems with CIC.
I'm going to do
Thank you.
Commissioner Davis and then Commissioner Stites.
Okay, sorry, mine wasn't blinking. Thank you, Mayor. I guess just going back to the whole NRA deal, I could do 75%. I could also do 95% for 5 years across the board, just to kind of shrink it, but still offer it. But I think one of the points I want to make, and I take your point, Mayor and colleagues, on the cost of maintaining vacant lots. But the NRA program isn't just for vacant lots, right? You can use it for built-out structures, you can use it for property that the unified government doesn't own at all, but maybe there are some expenses with illegal dumping or code enforcements. But the other point I wanted to make is I don't want us to assume, and I think this is where Mr. Blair was getting at, that I don't know if it's fair for us to assume that the market and the appetite for the program remains the same if we decrease the rebate.
Sure.
So I don't know if it would be fair to just say, well, if you got in 2024, you got 214 NRA applications at 95%, well, let's just say there's 75% for the rebate, not 95%. Well, it may not be 214 applications, it might be 150. Right. So that could stymie and it could lessen the appetite for this program if we decrease the rebate, which I believe that's kind of what Mr. Blair was getting at. And so I would be fine with either a 75% across the board 10 years or 95% for 5 years. But I just wanted to kind of make that distinction here. This program isn't just for unified government or land bank owned property. It's for property throughout those areas, which is particularly Kansas City, Kansas. Thank you.
That was an excellent point, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Stites.
Stites District 7 once again, and I completely agree with what you're saying. But the unknown is the unknown, right? We don't know. Maybe there still would have been 200, right? One concern that I have would be what will it do to current permits or applications? Would that slow down or stop? Because this is going to have to go back to all the taxing entities, which is a delay. So where does that put the ones that are would be potentially in limbo?
Attorney Green.
Wendy Green, Deputy Chief Counsel. So the applications that are already in place, the appraiser's office establishes their value off their base value, so what it is now. So they would have to wait until they complete the rehab, complete the construction before we would ever know what that increment was anyway. So this will all be resolved before they ever get finished. And if it's already something that's already been getting a rebate, it's under the old plan anyway. So it's not affected by what goes on right now. So anything that had already completed an application and completed under a previous plan is ruled by that plan. It's only anybody that applied in 2026 and after that is goes under the policy of this plan. So anybody that's already applied would just still fall under whatever is decided here whenever it gets passed.
Okay.
They're still fine because most likely if they've just now got their application in, they're not going to complete their rehab or their new construction until well after this is decided.
But I am incorrect in saying that this will have to go back to all the taxing, including Turner, correct?
Correct. And
Right, so
right. In fact, I think that that would be a good thing if the percentage changes, then the plan that the other districts have already approved has changed. So they will need to go back and make sure that they are still in agreement.
And
So
I
we can
would
take it
assume that
further.
anybody that was willing to give up 50% is going to be in favor of not giving up as much at 75%. So with that being said, I'm going to make a motion that we go to the option that is 75% on new construction.
Okay, before we get a second, Commissioner Bynum.
I'm sorry. I want to understand because the interlocal agreements with these entities came to us at standing committee before we had ever made a decision on any of the percentages, including Turner, who declined. So you're saying that if we change what we've presented, we go back?
Correct, because what those the taxing entities, the school boards approved was the plan as it's set out right now. So if it's,
I'm sorry, we could have changed it at standing committee.
well, except it was
I mean, we
information.
hadn't made any decision.
No, it was information only at standing committee. So we took it to them with what we were planning on, and then it came forward here. So
Okay.
yes, yeah, no matter what, if it was passed the way it was, then we're good and we just move forward. If anything had been changed, we would go back to the school boards and make sure they were still on board.
Okay, so at Commissioner Stites' motion, we would go back.
Correct.
I will second the motion.
Commissioner Davis.
Just for clarity in the motion, how many years for 75%? Oh, for 10 years. Okay, I wasn't sure. Thank you. I'm okay with that.
Okay, we have a second and a motion. I mean, we got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Roll call, Lopez,
Aye.
Stites,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Bynum,
Aye.
Howard,
Aye.
Burns,
Aye.
Hill,
Aye.
Pacheco.
Aye.
The vote is 8-0. The motion carries.
That was a healthy conversation. I appreciate that. Very healthy. Look what you did, Blair. Well done. High five. We got a compromise. Now you need to move here. No, that's what somebody said. Good. You know what? I was joking. You don't live here? Okay, never mind. All right, we have one item scheduled under our administrator's agenda this evening. This item is an update and discussion around the local priority plan. I will ask our county administrator, David Johnston, to introduce the item and present staff.
Last year, the commission passed an ordinance to direct the staff to put together a local priority plan. Alan House worked with staff to comb a lot of information that has been for the commission and committees and issues that staff is facing to come up with meet that obligation that you require us to do to present to you a local priority plan for discussion. So, Alan?
Thank you, Alan House, Assistant County Administrator, Mayor and Commission. I won't go through all 20 slides here, but wanted to introduce this. This is an information-only item, and we'll have a future discussion and adoption on this item, much like we do the legislative agenda. The presentation, I'll just kind of hit it. The intent of this, and this was passed in 2025, so this is our first time through this process, and we're kind of feeling our way through, is to create better alignment between what are the priorities of the mayor, commissioners, administrator, staff, and the legislative auditor, all of whom are doing work in different areas, and sort of make sure that the left hand and right hand are coordinated. To also identify those specific areas of focus around policy or around operational improvements, to drive those actions in policies and procedures, and really sort of limit it to what can you do in a year. So this is not how do we solve poverty, those sorts of things. This is really what can we do in 1 year's work with the commission, the standing committees, and boards and commissions. And it asked the standing committees, what do you want to work on? And we spoke to the chairs of the standing committees to get their input on this. And then also, we've got dozens of people that you all nominate to boards and commissions that spend hours and hours working in different areas. And so if there are focus areas that you as the elected commission want these boards and commissions to focus on, we want to be able to include that and incorporate that into this plan, and then be able to share that back to those boards and commissions so that they also have direction and guidance on the work that is in front of them. So the ordinance lays out kind of how this should go, and it really, in consultation, as the county administrator said, with a number of different parties, staff, legislative auditor, looking at the community survey, looking at the strategic planning process that the commission went through last year, really look at creating this priorities plan, and this kind of lays out the 4 areas of potential focus for that. The mechanics of this, we had something pop up at the very end of 25 that maybe delayed things a little bit with the chiefs coming to town. So the idea being to propose this in January, have the action to discuss it and add items, remove items, amend it, and then adopt it in February. We are here in February with the goal of being to adopt that in March, and then be able to relay that information out to the boards and commissions, as well as to work with the chairs to work through a work plan for the standing committees for the year. So that's kind of the overall. I'm not going to go through the specifics of it. I did want to mention this kind of came out of work that we did with Cities Work, which was an organization that worked with several of the commissioners. Commissioner Stites was involved with some of that work on reducing regulations and signs and other areas. Commissioner Davis was involved in that and work, particularly around this area of the local priorities plan. And Commissioner, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to what the thought was in putting this together.
May I? You're fine.
Commissioner Davis.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. House. And I appreciate the work that you've done, and I think you kind of summed it up. So this came out of Administration and Human Services Standing Committee last year, and the goal was for us to get aligned. I think there are a lot of really cool ideas that not only the 11 of us have, but ideas that we hear from our community, from the boards, from our appointees. And so this is really trying to get us to be strategic and for us to really think through what could we accomplish year by year by year. We have a lot of boards and task forces that, in my opinion, aren't necessarily, not all of them, aren't necessarily aligned to the broader vision that we all commit to and set, and the conversations and priorities that we have here. And so this is trying to pull legislative auditor, our task forces, our boards, all of them together to say, let's row in the same direction to make sure that we are accomplishing some of the same things for our community. And so it's the first time we've done this before. We do it all the time for the state, and so why not do it for local? But I think as we continue to go through this process year by year, we'll get better, and hopefully in 2027, we can look back at this list and be able to check off some of the things that we have committed to accomplishing. Thank you, Mr. Howell.
Thank you, Commissioner. So again, I'm not going to go through this in detail. The way it's laid out is by full commission items, and then it goes through each of the 4 standing committees, goes into the boards and commissions. These are all the officially codified boards and commissions that exist on the books. It talks about the legislative auditor. It has a little bit in there on kind of administration priorities and some of the internal working groups. So it's trying to cast a broad net here. Also trying to provide visibility for commission and staff and others as to the breadth of work that is taking place. And recognizing that there are staff capacity limitations. So as we go through these processes and what is the focus area going to be, you all are going into the strategic planning process part 2 this Saturday. And so again, sort of thinking about what are those priorities? What is the capacity to execute against those priorities, whether that's staff capacity, financial capacity, et cetera. So we'll see as we go. We'll be reaching out to the individual commissioners. If you have feedback, you see something on here or something that's not on here and you say, I wanted to make sure that it's included in here. We want to make sure that that's reflected in the document that we'll bring back to you in March. Happy to stand for any other questions.
Okay, are any questions for commissioners? There are none. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate you. Very good. All right, if there are no further questions or comments from the commission, this item is for information only at this time. Well, that concludes the portion of our regular meeting, and I adjourned us in that capacity. I will entertain a motion to adjourn as the Board of Commissioners and call us back to order as the Land Bank Board of Trustees. Commissioner Bynum?
Bynum, so moved.
David, second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Clerk, roll call, please.
Roll call Lopez.
Aye.
Stites. Davis.
Aye.
Bynum.
Aye.
Howard.
Aye.
Burns.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Pacheco.
Aye.
The vote is 8-0. The motion carries.
Thank you. Does any member of the commission or county administrator wish to set aside any item on the land bank consent agenda? Commissioner Davis.
Davis, move to approve.
Ooh, thank you. It's been a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Roll call Lopez.
Aye.
Stites. Davis.
Aye.
Bynum.
Aye.
Howard.
Aye.
Burns.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Pacheco.
Aye.
The vote is 8-0. Motion carries.
Thank you, commissioners. Well, with no further business to come before the governing body, I want to thank everyone who participated here and for their comments, and to the staff. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Bynum, so moved.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Roll call Lopez.
Aye.
Stites. Davis.
Aye.
Bynum.
Aye.
Howard.
Aye.
Burns.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Pacheco.
Aye.
Vote is 8-0. Motion carries.
Job well done, commissioners. We are adjourned.